There are so many gems in this book. One of my favorite gems is you can read this book in any order you want. What's going on? It is Book Review Saturday, and we are reviewing this week What You Think of Me Is None of My Business by Terry Cole-Whitaker. And there are so many gems in this book. One of my favorite gems is you can read this book in any order you want because the chapters are designed as standalone chapters. I want to jump into give you 5 lessons that I learned from What You Think Is None of My Business. Lesson number 1. We are creators and we are made in the image of the head creator, which is great news because that means right now, what you are experiencing, you created. You could be experiencing things that are wonderful, or you can be experiencing things that you don't believe are so wonderful. But the fact is, you are a creator, so you can choose to create something else. I think that is such an amazing thought that we are the creators of our current reality because it puts the power in our hands instead of disempowering us to make it seem like everything that we have or we're experiencing right now in life, we don't have any control of. But she wants us to clearly understand the creator. You created this mess, you can create something else. And lesson number 2 is really one that was funny to me because I've been hearing this a lot lately is happiness is accepting where you are at. What? Yeah, that's happiness. Being able to accept where you are at and understand that, as lesson number 1 said, you are the creator. So you can change where you're at into a direction that you would rather be. But it starts by being happy and accepting the present moment because you created it. So you're going to gain nothing by being angry with yourself about what you created. So be happy and then use your happiness to go create something better for you if you're dissatisfied with where you're at. Number 3, directions, not advice. What we need are directions, not advice. Because as she states, what you think of me is none of my business. What is the difference between directions and advice? Directions, if you have repaired, let's just say your car needs to be repaired and you go ask a mechanic exactly how to make that repair, that is directions. If you go and ask the mechanic what to do with your life, that is advice. She states that we create our own lives. So we don't need anyone else to tell us what to do with our lives. I like that. But we do from time to time need direction and direction for a particular outcome that we may be after. And we can find those directions in things like books, taking a course, asking people questions. Those are the places we can find those directions. But so many times she talks about how we look to people for advice on what to do with our life. And then when we take their advice and things don't turn out the way we want them to, or we feel like we're not living authentically, we're upset, we're frustrated. And that is why she states, you need to seek direction, not advice. Lesson number 4. We have to decide what we want. Until we decide what we want, nothing is going to change. Nothing is going to get better. If anything, things will get worse because we are going a direction, a path that we did not chart for ourselves. Terry states that when we decide what we want, it is one of the most unselfish things that we can do because when we decide what we want, and we make a plan to go for it, like the example of asking for more money. Okay, you ask for more money, but when you get more money, there comes with more responsibilities. And you may not know what it takes to handle the more money, but you can learn. And so you have patience with yourself during that process. That's what she talks about. So it is okay to ask for what we want. And if we do not ask for, we are living a life designed by someone else who then tells us what we want. And then we're unsatisfied. And some of us are living lives, as she states in the book, based off of something someone said or did a long time ago. And we're still going down that path because of what someone else said or what someone else did or what something we believed. We have to pause, stop, in this moment and decide what we want. Lesson number 5. To make better decisions, we have to track the decisions we're making now. If we do not track the decisions that we are currently making, how can we improve on them? And a lot of times we don't track our decisions because it's easier not to, and we can blame situations, other people, or other things for why we don't have what we want, why we're not doing what we would love to do. It's because we don't track. We don't track to see how we're doing with our decisions, and we don't give ourselves the space to be able to make better decisions because we can't quantify the decisions we're already making. And this hit me on the head because I told myself when I started the gym, I'm going to put on 10 pounds. Well, I have no real way to track that because I haven't purchased a scale to see where I'm at now with my weight. So I can't track my decision. I know I'm going to the gym every day, but I don't really know how that's turning out or what that's going to look like. So today I'm going to purchase a scale. And the last tip that I'm going to give you from this book, she talks about affirmations and how we're doing it wrong. I know I was doing it wrong. She gave an example of how she had an affirmation that said, I'm going to be, paraphrasing, I'm going to be on TV. And sure enough, she ended up on TV, but it was a disaster. She only recorded one episode. It never aired. And she went back and looked at her affirmation. And it was just to say that she was going to be on TV. But what she says is no, you have to be very specific about what you want. So then she changed her affirmation to, I'm going to have a successful weekly TV show on TV. And sure enough, within 2 weeks, she had a TV show, a successful TV show on TV. And she realized by changing the wording of her affirmations and being direct, it changed the outcome. So no more vague affirmations. And in this book, you'll find every chapter ends with the affirmation. Every chapter gives you something to observe. Every chapter tells you to make a choice. You can either choose to accept whatever it is the chapter is talking about, like a limiting belief, but be conscious, but don't lie to yourself about the fact that you're accepting that in this moment. Or you can choose to accept something else. And so she lays it out, gives you the choices. Every chapter ends with giving up blame. Well, part of it ends with giving up blame. You have to give up blame because blaming yourself isn't going to make your situation any better. It's going to make you feel any better about your life. And then she gives you a way to create change in that area. An affirmation, 3 affirmations that you just put your name in at the bottom and you go with it. To me, this is an amazing little book. What you think of me is none of my business by Terry Cole-Whitaker. And I really think there's a lot that you can get out of it, but it's up to you if you want to try. This was Book Review Saturday. Till next time. Oh, and if you didn't check out this week's earlier video with Dan Cole and the 5 lessons I learned from him, check that out. He is pretty amazing. All right, till next time. Be great.